It's facing the wrong way. Beep. There we go. I look terrible. Awesome. Welcome, everybody. I got to invite Mike before I get going. So I'm not going to say anything until Mike shows up. Wait, where is he? I got to remember his. How to actually invite people? What the heck is going on? There he is. Christ is King. Well, Christ is King is that's a subject for a different. We're going to stick to the movie tonight. Hello, sir.
How the hell are you?
I'm great. How are you?
This is amazing. I'm so glad
All
to
right.
be
So
here.
we were already talking. We were already talking on the phone. So we were just going to continue the conversation because I think it's useful information for anybody to hear, even if we're wrong and wildly mistaken. It's good to
Yes,
have people critiquing what we're doing so that we can hear if we're going in the right direction or not. But also,
we
let's
want
ignore the.
hate.
Yeah, exactly. Let's ignore the chat. We're going to ignore the chat for now, and we're just going to have our writers meeting because you want to introduce yourself real quick, and then I'll introduce myself, and we'll go into it.
Yes.
Because I don't know.
Didn't I see you in Begonia? Aren't you the main character in Begonia?
Oh
Isn't that
yeah,
right?
that's me. Let's get that out of the way real quick. Yes, I look
No,
like.
I'll introduce myself, but like literally, that's literally you and Don Jolly kidnapping Emma Stone. Like that's the whole movie. Like that's the whole movie. In I'm kind of dick eating off of Low Res's take on that, but I think
That's fine.
everybody can see that. Everybody in this weird sphere of the internet can see this. But in this weird sphere of the internet, my name is Michael Lewis Haspin, and
Yeah.
I'm a filmmaker, YouTuber, podcaster. And I was introduced to Tim Sabers here through Low Res Wonder Bread because I'm working on the Mass State Lottery documentary. I am also a documentary filmmaker, but here we're going to be talking about a film that we are writing together. And we both have parents that live in Delaware. So we are
Yes.
writing a Delaware set film.
We are definitely setting it in Delaware. Delaware is. I lived there for a number of years, and I was ride sharing. I'm going to say ride share. I don't want to give anybody free advertising. You know what I mean? I'm not going to remember. I'm not going to say anybody's
Don't do that.
names of anybody like that. So when I was ride sharing, I just started collecting stories. There was a lot of hilarious events, and I just was like, "Yo, this is if Taxi Driver was a comedy right now. My life was basically that, and then people invite you places, then you connect with people, and like it's just a. I really liked ride sharing. I like driving people around. I thought it was fun. It was like being a bartender, but there was always a cutoff point where you get to kick people out. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
a bartender has to listen to somebody just talk and talk and talk and talk until they leave. They don't really kick them out. So you have to deal with whoever's a jerk for hours. Whereas if you're ride sharing and you're just taxiing somebody somewhere, you get to have a really short, compact, very real conversation. Which there was an HBO documentary series. I don't know if you've ever heard of it called Taxi Cab Confessions, which was that. It was
What were they confessing to? Like,
Oh,
murdering
it
their
was just like it was a
infant.
lot of drunk. It was a lot of drunk people that they got to sign paperwork when they said they were going to be on TV, basically. And some of the things they said were horrendous. They said horrendous things sometimes
My
on
dog
that.
gave me head
Yeah,
while watching Super Bowl. Like
right. Yeah,
something like that or something. Oh, that's
yeah.
good. That's funny.
So I would recommend that one if you want to see some weird, like very weird characters that are real people. I would check out Taxi Cab Confessions if you can find that anywhere. But
Oh,
but
I'm trying
but
to think
yeah,
what
when I
that thinks me of, but that sounds funny. So like, did you watch that and or are you just bringing that up because that's already been done? Or
I'm just bringing that up because I just think it's a great it's a cool it's fun to write a short conversation between two characters that are never going to see each other again and have nothing to hold back. So it's a very interesting setting, I think, to have repeat, like, because that's going back to what we're writing, how this is informing what we're writing. We are writing a script that is very much a young ride share, like a what, mid-20s? Is that what
I'm
we
doing 19 in my script, but
19? Okay, you decided on 19. Okay, I was thinking mid-20s. But so you had backstory already that you had written for the character. So let's just hear that. Let's stay on the script,
yeah.
so that we're making progress on the script.
I also just wanted to bring up, like, I like, now that you're thinking of like all the stories you had, I'm thinking of a story I had when I worked at Barnes and Noble. I'm just gonna have to say it right now. I'll explain the backstory of the character that I wrote, but I was at Barnes and Noble, and some like African, like horror, like one of them African countries is probably having a civil war or something. He comes up to my thing and he buys like Liz Cheney's book or whatever. And then he's
Mhm.
like, "You attractive young man. I have a daughter, and we are looking to get her a green card. Would you like to marry her?" And he's like going on and on about how he wants me to marry his daughter. He's like, "You'll get money," and I'm like, "No, that's amazing. I love black women, but no, like, that's amazing though. What is your?" It was so interesting and I'm thinking that's the type of energy we should be bringing with this. If it's relevant to the story. That's the type of
Yeah,
energy we could bring to that is
like for example, the brewery that's in Delaware, the I
Iron
forget,
Hill.
what was it?
You mean
As
like
Iron
Iron Hill, or
No, the
like an actual
Dogfish,
company that makes beer?
the Dogfish Head Brewery.
Dogfish Head, yeah.
So yeah, I used to, when I was ride sharing. They have a big company outing like once a year in that area of Delaware. So I was like, I knew I'd done it for like 3 years and off and on, and then I started seeing all these employees, and they had um, like theme parties and stuff on certain nights, and they had like a week's worth of nights out. Like that
Yeah.
dude really goes all out for his employees. And when I was picking up people, I did think of offensive costume parties, which I know a friend of mine from Florida had before, and he showed me some pictures, and I was dying. I was dying
Cultural
with them.
appropriation costume party.
Yeah, just the most offensive thing that you could dress up in, and
Yeah.
like everybody, like one white guy just wore a black shirt with white letters that just said, think of a word that a white
Yeah.
guy shouldn't have on his
Yeah, that's
chest.
good. Yeah, that's good.
So like stuff like that. So I thought that could be, if you pick somebody up, you're already in the middle of their story. So if they get in and they're on their way
That's
out,
right.
they're on their way somewhere. So they could be on their way to an offensive costume party. Then it becomes, okay, well, what costume do we put the person? Like those
Yeah.
are the fun jokes. But I think
Yes.
you and I right now anyway, like we want to focus on the character story, backstory, and um, maybe the major beats in the script. Like the first
Yeah.
the plot, like the first and the major plot points. That's all. Like so the list, the and then list, as they
I gotta
call
add this African story down. Hold on, let me write this fucking down. But can you open up my PDF and then we'll get started? Or do you want to go with yours first?
it. Is your did you Where did you send it to? My
I sent it to your email.
email. Okay.
Um, but that would be funny to have like an African guy be like, "Do you want to marry my daughter from money?" That'd be
Well,
so awkward.
yeah, I have a real unsettling story of somebody that I picked up. I should say two gay couples that I picked up in Rehoboth one night, and
The drug
let
dealers?
well, no, not
The gay
them.
mob is the scariest mob. What did you
It
say?
is the scariest mob. These guys,
Bitches
let's
pulling me.
just say
Yes.
the let's just say the age range and the ethnicity of the boy. he was very
Oh,
young. He was very young, and I was picking them up at the end of the bar night and stuff. Then they invited me to go for brunch the next day and go on the boat, but I declined. Um, it was
you leave that boat with someone
it was
leaking out the
Sunday.
back.
It was Sunday. I had to go to church with my folks. So,
Yeah,
but
but that's the yeah.
okay, I do have your let me pull up. Here we go.
This
I
will
mean,
develop into a rather technically sound stream. I'm
yeah,
gonna put it up.
we're starting slow. We're recruiting by showing people what we're doing. So if anybody wants to make this better, by all means, hit one of us up and we can talk about how people can contribute. Um, okay.
Alrighty. Are you gonna? What do
So
you want to do? Do you want me to like?
I've
What do you
got
want to
your
do? Do you want to read it?
I've got your PDF open and I'm ready to hear. I'm hoping honestly, dude, I'm hoping I read this and I abandon everything I've thought of and we just go with what you have here. But
You want me to read
we'll
it
go
like
through
out
mine
loud?
too. Do we want to read it, or do you want to just? Do you want me to just sit here and read it quietly?
Okay, I'm gonna read the action, and then you read. How about you read the action, and then no, fuck all
Would you
that.
rather I read it because I didn't? If I didn't write
That's
it,
good. Let's
I'll
do
read
that.
it.
Let's do that.
I'll read it differently. When you read
And
your own
I'll do the
writing,
dialogue
okay.
as Sean, and then you do Uncle Lou.
Should we also remind people that we are writing for you to play the main character? Because
Yes, yeah, I will
that
be playing the main character.
yeah,
You had a non-name of him, like it was just like the character.
I
I
just
write
yeah,
Sean.
our guy.
Um,
I call my the main character usually our guy or our girl if it's a girl until I figure out
our
a name.
Boyd. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I get
Um.
that.
So okay. So we should before we read this, we should So we got to vote for out loud. Um. From Carmelo, who also said he
Let's
would like
do
to
it.
help, which is good. Before I read this, we should give people a little bit of a background in terms of what I told you about this idea I had for since and a friend of mine and I, Cloud Runner, if you guys know him, he and I had done some concept photos for posters that I showed you as well, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I told you that about basically kind of the background of what I've told everybody, just that it was a rideshare movie. We could structure it where we have a lot of passengers, then it gives us a chance to cast differently. We can shoot it. It's because it's in a car at night, which is why I was like I always wanted it to. It's easier and cheaper to make a first movie that's like Clerks, where it takes place over the course of one day. So people are
Yeah.
wearing the same clothes when you shoot. You know, like you just have everything worked out to plan for the fact that you don't have a lot. And we discussed the Robert Rodriguez, list, which is like
Yeah.
the rebel without a crew mentality, which is
Right around what you have, all
right
that.
around what you have exactly. So I know how to shoot car scenes at night. Is easy to shoot in. All right.
That's that black the bottom of black coffee.
Yeah, right. So I know how to shoot. How to fake a moving car at night very easily. I've done it for since I was first starting to make movies, faking a car moving or whatever. So I know how to do that, which keeps the cost down, and then you can shoot it in a garage or a warehouse that's easy to rent, and then you can invite people to that, and becomes very easy to have a couple of
Yeah.
like really good guest appearances that people might not have a lot of time for, but if you plan it that way, we can get bigger people to spend 2 hours, 3 hours, or whatever shooting, and then we're good with them. Um,
Yeah.
so all of that was swirling in your mind, and then I just said right from there, right? Basically, I was like, so uh, based on
Yeah.
what we
You
knew,
didn't give me much. I mean, and that's fine. But we got a lot of good conversations of like me giving that note. So,
and
um,
you pushed back immediately. I'd like to say that too, which I was like, okay, good, this is the right guy. I don't want somebody that's just going to say. Yeah, I'll
Oh
do that.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll
massive.
do.
Oh no,
Oh, it's
massive. Oh
great. It's great. It's great. Nobody wants to. Good art doesn't come from everybody agreeing
yes,
with each
man.
other.
No, no, no,
So,
no, no, no.
all right. So we got to vote for reading it out loud. So that's what we're going
Let's
to
do
do.
this. This is how we're gonna do it.
Okay.
You read the action, like
All
the
right.
description, and every other scene I read the action, and then with the dot. So like the next scene I'll read the action, and then vice, keep going. And then when it comes to the dialogue, there's only two people I've written so far on these like 4 pages. You play Uncle Lou, I play Sean. Okay?
Okay.
So you read the description first.
All right. Interior Sean's bedroom, morning. The bedside clock strikes 7 a.m. and the alarm causes Sean to wake up to a kitten making biscuits on his face. He grabs the kitten's face and kisses him and puts him on the bed as he stands up. He pushes the alarm off. After putting his glasses on, he takes a pill of Adderall and a multivitamin. We quickly see him shower and put clothes on. A mug is on top of the left page of stained Hanes. All dogs go to heaven except pit bulls, with the chapter America is now a second world country open. He grabs the mug and the book closes on itself with the pressure released as he walks out of the room. Interior kitchen morning.
Sean walks into the kitchen. The house is a visibly small trailer with an addition to the side and a cozy interior. He pulls out an instant coffee maker from a cabinet. He puts it in the mug and then fills it up with water and microwaves it for a minute. As he microwaves it, he feeds his cat. He then puts 2 pieces of bread in the toaster, and after he pulls out the finished coffee, he cracks 2 eggs in a small microwavable egg container and tops it off with shredded cheese to microwave for another minute. He stares at the microwave cooking the egg, and as the toaster shoots the toast up, he hears a footstep, and it's his uncle limping into the kitchen. He has suffered a stroke, surprising him. Though
The
he
hell are
has suffered a
you
stroke in parentheses. Okay, yeah.
the hell are you doing up so early, Sean?
He sips his coffee. Going to work. I'm looking to do at least 12 hours of rides today.
You're 19 for Christ's sake. It's a Saturday morning on Labor Day. You should be sleeping in because you should be sneaking into a bar, getting into a fight for hitting on someone's girl, but no, you'd rather drive strangers around.
No other job lets you make your own hours and have this much autonomy.
Autonomy? You live with your Uncle Lou. When your father was your age, he was already an assistant manager of a stereo store and distracting your mother from studying.
And I fucking hate. I'm like, I don't know. I just was writing the people's like backstory in their dialogue. I'm not. This is gonna be edited.
That's what
But anyway,
this is not on the screen yet. This is the first draft.
all right, all right, all
That's
right.
why we do this. Yeah.
And mom was on the dean's list. I know. I'm still trying to figure shit out. Their love was too spontaneous, and look how that ended up. We see a flash of the obituary of his father who died in a car accident while drunk when he was 2 years old.
Uncle
Yeah,
Lou, sometimes spontaneity is the best part of life, no matter what the mistakes are. Your mom might be more focused on work, but she'll never forget that 8 years she had with your father.
I don't have room for spontaneity or mistakes.
This is what your father told me. It always gets better, but it gets a lot worse before it gets better.
Sean pours his coffee in a to-go cup. Damn. I hope that's not true. I gotta go though.
No, you don't. Make me a coffee.
Why don't you ask Lucille to make it?
She has narcolepsy. How many times do I have to tell you?
It makes a quick instant coffee with sugar and creamer in it and puts it in the microwave. This is like girlfriend number 4 since I've moved here. How the hell am I supposed to know?
Wow, I'm getting it more than you, and I'm operating on 50% capacity.
Cause he's a stroke. He's like limping.
Right.
Yeah,
How about you bring some pussy over here instead of driving random strangers at 7 a.m. and letting your bloodline stick to your sock?
that's that's good. He swings his non-working arms and legs forward and sits down. Sean hands him the finished coffee. I get it. I get it. You win. He smiles, nodding his head, and grabs his key and walks out. Exterior driveway morning. Sean locks the door and walks to his car and waves to his cat in the bedroom window. We see an "If you honk at me, I will kill myself" bumper. Fuck. I should have the fucking what do you call it? Quotation.
What's up?
Bumper sticker. So interior Sean's car morning. Sean gets in the car and puts the coffee in the cup holder. We see a picture of his dead father by a speedometer. He quickly looks in his foldable mirror and checks his teeth. Sean quickly taps the gas pedal and quickly a rock shoots at the living room window, hitting it. Uncle Lou sees it while drinking coffee. Lou sees the rock zoom inside.
What the fuck, Sean?
Yeah, like he's sipping his coffee in his. I don't know. I just thought, yeah, comedy movies that wacky stuff. No, I don't know.
Well,
It's all right. That ending's
well,
all right. But I really like that line I wrote.
Bloodline sticks to your sock
Yeah,
line.
that's
Well,
funny.
dude,
That's a good one.
anything that got a laugh has to remain. You know what I mean?
What do you
Like
think? What do you think? That's it.
I, I mean, Uncle Lou. I was thinking of guys I've met in Delaware that I was like, I know Uncle Lou. I think I know Uncle Lou. You know. I also will say this. Well, we were talking about. Remember, we were discussing the age of the character, and you had written. Said you had written him as 19, right? Or is that's what you're
Yeah,
thinking? Okay. Because I was thinking like 22, 20, 21,
like my like a little
like
older than me.
old enough to be drinking legally, but choosing not to do it. And I thought he had a um um like basically a bad like I had a friend in college who never drank, but he came out with us everywhere. He hung out with us all the time, but he didn't
That's
drink because in his family it just doesn't lead anywhere good. He said it's not a single
yep.
person who's ever done it. He was like, it doesn't agree with us. He was like, I've noticed, I've taken that that warning, and I don't do it. So I always liked that dude. Um, and that's what I wanted to write a younger kind of parentless. It's funny you wrote it kind of the same way, but I wanted a character who I think had been on his own for a long time, didn't have the money to go to college, might not have even graduated high school, you know, um,
Yeah.
like but a smart guy. You know what I mean? Like a
Yeah.
smart, like a wise beyond his years guy, but still kind of um, succumbing to, and I think we talked about this, succumbing to the notion that, like, in America, if you didn't go to college, you're not smart. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that idea, I think, is something that, like, I don't always think of every teen comedy. It's always kids in. It's like a commercial for college, and I wanted to write a character that wasn't into that, but was
Yeah.
jealous of the community, maybe.
Yeah.
But
I have that. I want to put that in because I felt that way because I took a gap year. So, like,
right,
because I like to deal with personal issues. And then
yeah,
I went to community college, which really isn't college. So then I like, it's not, it really isn't college, but like if
it's
for
like
certain majors, it depends.
it's like trade school for most people. It's more of a trade school, right? Like
Yeah,
you go
yeah.
there
Like I
to
don't want to disrespecting people that do that, but
no,
and then
I'm not.
like there was no community in the community college, so I was like going to like University of Delaware punk shows and like frats and shit, and just like I wasn't
Yeah,
sneaking in. I was just like going because I wanted to meet people,
right.
and then I eventually transferred to Temple, which is like an actual, I live on right near campus in Philly. It's like
Yeah.
actually a college experience and shit. But yeah, and so I fuck with that. I fuck with that. That like
Was
idea of like him, you know, being
I
jealous of that community and him
yeah.
being lonely.
Because I think that even if you go to college, there's even also this, oh, am I intellectually inferior because I didn't major in this within your own school? And then it's, oh, am I intellectually inferior because I went to a school that's not as prestigious as this school? You know what I
There's
mean?
always some insecurity you can
Yeah,
find and shit.
everybody can relate to that. And like, just one generation ago, like my dad's sisters, he was born to immigrant, like his parents were foreign to America in that they weren't, they were from Europe. So
Yeah.
they were like, my family roots don't go that deep in America. So his family was relatively poor, and when it came to education, they said openly, they were like, he said, I remember my parents having a conversation when I was young, saying, if anybody's going to college, it's got to be him because he's got to support a family. So it's got to be him. And he had three sisters, so they were, then that puts a wedge between those people. So I wanted to like examine that kind of
Yeah,
the bell curve of intellect, where like if you whenever you talk to somebody where they're an expert in a particular field, they sound intelligent. You know what I mean? It just comes out of them, like when they get excited about talking about something they know about.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I
so
know what you mean. Yeah.
so I was so
Sorry.
I just when I was reading this, you were reveal even though like you were critiquing your own dialogue as overly expositional, whatever. That's how we do it. That's how
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
but all that dialogue, like this scene, might not end up in the movie, but it's already informing the character. And you and I are on the same page, I think, with where the character is in relationship to the world around him. You know what I mean? Like, I always picture like the person that watches the sitcom who doesn't have the family and like having grown up privileged enough to be like my parents are still together. That's not overly popular, so I don't like over. It's not that I don't
yeah.
like. It's not that I don't like happy people in movies and stuff or TV, but like I don't like my writing just doesn't go anywhere near Hallmark Channel. You know what I mean? Like it's just not going to be Hallmark Channel ever.
And
Um,
it's very hard to make those like interesting conflicts in those settings, and if you do, there's always something that is the conflict. Like
yeah,
Feast of the Seven Fishes. Have you seen that movie with Tyler Giscondo,
I don't. No, I don't think I am.
2019? But it's like about like an Italian family, and he doesn't marry, but he like wants to be with. It's like Christmas in the early '80s. He wants to date a like a a blonde girl, and he's Italian, and they're like straight wasps.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a good little like romantic comedy, and it's really good. It's about Italians. No, it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever the fuck it was. It was really good, and but there is like, even though everybody in the family has a beautiful family and like privilege, there's like a cultural conflict with them. One being Italian, one being like a straight a colonial wasp type of a
Yeah.
woman, and that cultural conflict kind of drives the movie.
Right.
Um,
Like, you always
it's
like
really good.
that's why I think that's what's so I think good about this kind of fun that I'm looking forward to about this type of character is I do think he is um, not an optimist, but a guy that has just he's seen enough crap, shit, whatever in his life to this point already that
Yeah,
he's kind of ready for anything, but he's not. But when it comes to conversation, I think conversation is not what he's interested in. However, he does like getting people places safe. That was kind of something that I thought was like maybe he doesn't like
yeah,
he's not crazy about conversation, but he's not like he's no shrinking violet, so it's like the conflict then becomes he's intelligent enough to debate with people. Example, this was one of those moments where I was thinking outside of my own head in the situation when I had a passenger when I was taxiing somebody somewhere. Um, I remember the guy, at least his aura, like if I was casting him in this movie,
straight
I would
oral.
I would say mid-30s, single, professional male, well dressed, coming from cocktail bar back to condo where he lives alone and drives a mid-sized sedan.
Yeah,
Um, like that's the guy. So,
contributing to low birth rates.
in other words, yeah, and in other words, pretty intelligent and obviously college educated, maybe college and beyond a little bit, but smart guy, right? Maybe this is his second property that I'm dropping him off at. But I remember in the
Where he
drive,
meets his mistress.
yeah, who knows? but I remember this particular guy asked me, I forget how we got on the subject of it. He brought it up, but he brought up the nonfiction section of a bookstore or whatever. And then it got to, he was like, well, the Bible is in nonfiction. And he was like, he was like, so he was talking to a guy. He didn't know this at the time, but my backstory to that point in my life was I would go out listening to a Bible themed podcast every time I Ubered, right before I was Ubering. And it was from a guy from Portland that I really like, who has a very like interesting take
Yeah.
and he like speaks ancient. He has like a doctorate in ancient Hebrew and stuff. Like he's a nerd, but he used to be a skater. He used to be a Portland skater, and now he's a big Bible guy. But I had been listening to that, so I'd been like Bible was top of mind all the time. And then this guy says it wouldn't be in the nonfiction, and I said all of a sudden his Uber driver, who isn't nearly as successful as he could be, right? Obviously, like that's the assumption probably. I say to him, I said, well, I mean, Holy Bible literally means like unique special library or collection of writings. So some of the Bible is nonfiction, but some of it is fiction, and it's written poetically, and it's fictionalized
Yeah.
moments and stuff. And I was like, so the real question is where would you put a collection of writings that are a library in and of itself in a bookstore? There's no library section in the bookstore. And
Yeah.
and he was quiet for a second or two. And before I even went on that, I was like, is this conversation going to affect the tip or anything? And he just started laughing. He's like, no, say whatever you want. And then I was like, okay. But that back and forth, that tension of like, well, if I answer this honestly, he might not be happy about it.
I'm
Um,
writing that down. Is this answer gonna affect my tip?
yes, exactly. That was always my question. Another thing I did was a lot of the times when people got in, I would say, depending on how they looked, like I'd try to read them a little bit when they were getting in, and depending on how they looked, some of the time, the thing I said most often was, "Do you want conversation, silence, or radio?"
Before
And
you
they
get in, yeah.
and then they would kind of laugh, and then sometimes they would just that. Usually, it ended up in conversation with that opener, but it would sometimes just be like radio or whatever. Another time I picked up, I think I told you about this one. I picked up, I pull up in on the beach, right? North end of Rehoboth,
Yeah.
by the hotel, by like the old hotel. I pull up on these two black women with like a bunch of stuff. And like that's not unusual there. There's black people all over Delaware, right? So it's like I'm like, oh, but what I do know is black women are very harsh on critiquing you on apps. That comes to mind, top of mind. So I
Yeah.
immediately pull over, throw on the hazards, get out, pick up their things for them, and say, "Hi, are you so and so?" And then I put them in the trunk, get in the trunk, and then I hear them kind of singing and into the song on the radio. So I turned it up a little bit, and she even wrote that in the thing afterwards. So
Yeah.
like that's the other thing is like yeah. Then there was some drunk kid who rolled up his finger in my window when I was driving him, and by accident, but he blamed it on me. And then I got a 2-star review from that. I was like, "You rolled your own finger up in the window, a
Fuck.
hole." You know what I mean? But that was one aspect we did talk about, was that there was going to be a rideshare app on the phone in the movie that he's using, right?
What if we put this in the Wonderverse and do the taxi go? No, I'm joking.
No,
But
that's why I'm leaving it. That's why I've just been calling it rideshare app, because I was like, we can design that all later, but that is something I'm always into tying it into other movies and stuff so that it branches out and
yeah,
people. People go
And
see
at the
other
end,
stuff.
Devlin picks him up and he's like, "Do you ever go fishing with your dad?" No, nah, I'm playing. I'm joking.
Well, no,
That'd
we
be
should
good.
we'll put it on a movie, or we'll put a person in a T-shirt or something, or we can bring a character in. We'll just find a character that fits in our universe that's in theirs as well. And we'll put them in the back of
We
the.
could do that as promo, like fake like AI Hans asked me in the back of a Uber, and he's like, "Do you ever go fishing with your dad?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What?" Boom, and slabs me. No, I'm just playing. But
Oh,
yeah, this sounds great.
should we check in with the chat real quick and see if
Let's
anybody's
do
here?
it.
Can you scroll back on your end, or
Yeah, I can.
but you can see everything, right?
Yeah, Carmelo
Uh,
Parasilti what says he'd love to help,
yes, which we would
and
love to
then
have. We would love to have anybody's help that wants to help. So
for sure, Brizzy DiGacho with the stick says Row on top look like William H. Macy. That's good. That's funny.
okay, that's a new one. I've gotten Philip Seymour Hoffman, Jim Gaffigan. Uh, who else? I went back when my hair was long and the Thor posters were coming out when I was walking around New York. My hair was like I looked similar, and people would like point at me, like foreigners thought I was a Chris Hemsworth, and I just started
It's
waving.
Thor.
I just was like, yeah, yeah, it's me, yeah, hello. Uh, and who's that other guy that was on the Vampire HBO show? I think some people thought I looked like him at one point too.
I'm
Um,
not sure.
Anyhow, what else we got in the chat? Anybody else?
What's the movie?
What's the movie?
Rideshare.
It's right now. It's just called Rideshare or Rideshare Movie, um, which it will probably change, but maybe not. But it gets at the heart of what it's about. It's going to be a guy driving through the day and night over the course of like a shift, trying to taxi people around, and we're going to write it around kind of around the scene that we both know in Delaware, which we're planning to shoot in Delaware, which would be fantastic, I think.
For sure.
Because
For sure.
I think we could find everything we need pretty easily, including like warehouse to shoot in and all that stuff. So, uh, yeah,
Yeah.
so that's it. Okay, should I
Well, what do you have written down?
I was gonna say, should we read my couple of pages? There's other scenes that I have in my head that have been in there for so long. I was like, I don't even want to write that because I thought my way through it a billion times. But let me open.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
Do you want to
I
send me a
have.
copy?
Uh, I'll have to
The
figure out how I
PDF of
can.
what you got?
Yeah.
All right, bet.
All right. Hold on a second. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to
Where'd
take
you
a
send it
couple.
to me on?
I'm just going to take a couple of screenshots of it because this program, I don't know anything about exporting in this program or
Which program?
Trebly, some freeware
Yeah, I
that I
couldn't
found.
download. I was trying to download it, but
Yeah,
I
you're on
got.
Mac. I'm on my PC right now, so it's
I've been like figuring out so much about downloading shit. Like I downloaded a data moshing software last night, and I had to download another software to do it.
do you
And then I
ever
found out my fucking hard drive like a couple weeks ago. I figured out my
uh,
hard drive for the whole Mass State Lottery documentary was only fit for Mac. I mean Windows. So I had to download another software that would be able to read the hard drive in the fucking first place. Um, but so it's been a whole thing. But I've been getting started with the Mass State Lottery documentary, and it's been going extremely well. So there's that. And we will talk about
and
the
I
other
just
thing.
I have to upload some footage to you for that because I just found some. So
That's amazing.
I think I told you that.
Yeah, you
Uh,
did. We talked about it on the phone. That's
all
good.
right. I right now I'm about to send you these three screenshots.
I talked with Jay yesterday about you. He was just basically like, I'm glad you're working with him, and I really like his short film that he did called whatever it was. Like it was like I forget what it's called. It was like 10. It was like for like 10 years ago. Is it Nobody Gives a Shit? Is that your? What was the
Uh,
one that like was a pretty big
no,
short film for you? Was
nobody
it
gives a
Dream of
shit.
Me?
What's that?
What was the first thing that Jay saw?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, like around the time you started talking about Jay, what came out is what I'm asking.
I think Dream of Me probably was out around that time, but I think Nobody Gives a Shit was something I was releasing. I had definitely released Nobody Gives a Shit around that time, or I had done a bunch of that, um, which was just like a story summary about a wacky portion of my life, which actually the video that I talk about in that I filmed in LA of the black guy at the Women's March, Big Joe. That
Yeah,
that video is still relevant, all the more relevant now. I was just thinking about that because I was like, that was, I don't know, that was like, yeah, 10, 11 years ago, something like that. Could have been that stuff.
yeah. Can you send me all of your like films, like all of them, so I can see what you've done like fully? Because they're all like behind a paywall. I'm not trying to be like rude or anything, but like
No,
I
I'm pretty sure everything I've ever done is free somewhere on the internet, but I spread it on different sites so that it's at least somewhat challenging to find. Where it's like, oh, this one, like I used to post all my shorts to Vimeo and stuff, but I do need to send you. I need to send you a cut of a film I did that I think illustrates. It's an older film, but it illustrates the feel of I think how, like, if I was going to, I think I would be cinematographer on this, and I would want you to direct the actors, but I would produce and be on set the whole time.
of
You know,
what
this movie, that the script that we're writing,
you want me to direct it?
I think, well,
I
directing
could
the
do that, but like
directing the actors, like, we'll have to talk about like the history of when cinematographers started, because I do love being a cinematographer, and I think I could do a good job on this. And that becomes like, we'll talk about it as we go. We might just end up sharing every credit by the time it's over, but one of the things that I definitely would want to do is to be the cinematographer on it. But I want to show you something that I did that I think will illustrate to you. I'm going to pull up. Oh, do you want to read these pages first?
yeah. Where'd you send them to me on?
I just did a reply to whatever the email was that you had uh, you had sent me from. You know what I mean? I just replied to what was there.
All right, let me find it real quick.
I can't wait for someone to steal our idea and then go make this by themselves without us. I
Yeah,
think,
they're just watching the whole thing and they're just like, "Oh, that's great."
but see, the thing that people need to remember is they can't take your style. Do you know what I mean? Or they can't take your panache, which is to say, a script in the hands of a terrible director is going to be a terrible movie. A terrible script in the hands of a terrible director will be a terrible movie, right?
That's right.
Um, but a terrible script in the hands of a good director or a great director can still become a good movie. But a great script in the hands of a terrible director will be some sort of movie. You'll get, you know what you get? Usual Suspects.
Yeah,
That's what you get. You get Usual Suspects.
you don't like
um,
that movie?
oh, it's a good movie. It's a great script, but it's not directed to my satisfaction, to be honest. Like, it's not. Um, visually, it's not striking. It's informational, but it was written on the page. That movie was on the page from the moment it.
Who wrote that? Brian Singer?
Bryan Singer did the direction. It's part of the reason it's not that good. But it is a
Oh,
good movie.
I think I made a
It's a great
post
movie.
about
It's a great movie to watch because it's well acted. It's spectacularly written, and it's not shot all that well, and it's not directed all that well. But the script and the storyline is so interesting and awesome that you can overlook those things because the writing is so good. You know.
I think I saw I think it was like Epstein video footage of him running out of the thing, like the orange blur. Anyways, and I made this video of it. I was like, I bet he's chilling in Israel with Brian Singer and Brett Ratner. Because
Yeah.
you know that thing where it's like Hollywood pedos moved to
I know,
Israel?
dude, but hold on. One of the things I've learned about how they censor on here. Did you notice our viewers dropped to 0 there for a second? Did you see
Yo,
that?
yeah, I've done that with my YouTube clips. Like anytime I mention anything like that, like I get the YouTube
Yeah.
algorithm does not push anything. Like
No. No.
yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's why we want to make sure we focus on the movie, even though that stuff's going to come up anyway. But all right.
Yeah.
So let's.
Yeah, yeah. Who's on here? Let me see who's on here.
Did
Jacob
you
Lewis Garfield. So.
did you get the
I got it. Yeah, let's read it.
Okay. I want you to read now. You're our guy, which becomes Noah. Um. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I had named the character Noah at this point, which made him see uncertain. Like when somebody goes, no, yeah, no, that's not that
Yeah.
I like to play with language and words and names and stuff while I'm writing and see what comes out. But let's do. I will read the everything but, or do you want to, read it? I would like to hear you read the dialogue, all the dialogue.
Am I starting at exterior computer airport arrivals?
Commuter airport arrivals. Yes, that's where I would if in my brain this is where the movie starts. He's already in the car. We don't know anything about him. In fact, we don't even know who the main character is. We're just stuck with this guy. You know what I mean? Like that's how I was writing the beginning. So
Okay, you want me to start?
Yeah. Why don't you read?
Do you want to do the dialogue?
I can do the no. I'll do the you
Do
read
it the
the
other way
dialogue.
around. All right, let's do it the other
You
way
read the
around.
dialogue, and when we get to the C word, you know what the sentiment of the line is, right? I think I already told you about that scene. If you want to,
Oh yeah.
so I would tell you, like, let's say I'm directing you, you're the actor, and I'm directing you for this scene. I would say, just express your disappointment however you would in that
Okay.
situation. That's all I was getting at. You know what I mean? It's the first real joke or introduction to it's the first thing the guy says. So I would like it to be almost quotably unique or peculiar, or it could be exactly the word there. Maybe it's just the way you say it. Whatever it is, just the sentiment that the character is going through, so just deliver whatever you think he would say, or do it different every time. That's what I would say. Like, we do a couple of takes, do it different every time until you find one you like.
Okay.
Okay, so exterior commuter airport arrivals terminal afternoon. Our guy, Noah, sits in his economy sedan. His gaze darts back and forth between doom scrolling on his phone and the sliding doors of the airport lobby. Interior, exterior, economy sedan continuous. The audio of a self-help podcast host can be heard playing over the car stereo. Our guy nods along in agreement as he listens. Podcast host. This is one of the most important times to maintain your frame. When we first meet anyone, how we present ourselves will imprint on the person we're meeting, and this moment of imprintment will set the tone for how that person treats and views us during every interaction we have with them from that moment on. Our guy perks up as an attractive middle-aged woman exits the airport.
Well, hello.
As our guy ogles with his mouth agape, the woman connects with our guy for a moment, Noah.
Soy Jack.
Yeah. The woman connects with Noah for a moment through the windshield. He straightens up sheepishly, but holds his gaze as she looks towards him. Her pace quickens as an extreme happiness washes over her face. She's heading right for him. Noah perks up even more, smiles big, and then she is embraced by a far more handsome guy who is there to greet her. The couple
Chat.
walk off in their embrace as Noah's happiness fades.
Cunt.
We've all heard the saying, podcast host. We've all heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Knock, knock on the passenger side window. I'll read this guy and you read the other guy. Knock, knock on the passenger window. Noah spins his head around. A mid-30s man dressed in an airline pilot's uniform stands at the window smiling. This is Andrew the pilot. The passenger Noah has been waiting for. Noah rolls down the window.
Hi, sorry, are you Andrew? You do
That's
the
me.
pilot.
That's me. Noah?
Yup. Feel free to sit anywhere you like.
Cool. Is it all right if I just throw my suitcase in the trunk?
Absolutely, go right ahead.
Noah pops the trunk with a button on his dashboard. Noah then
This is
taps.
important for later. This is
Noah?
important for later.
Yeah, right. That's just a note. Those are notes just for you and me.
Yeah,
Noah then taps the start sharing button next to a profile picture of Andrew on his rideshare app. The app begins navigation towards the destination and calculates the cost. Andrew shuts the trunk and gets into the passenger side back seat. Interior, exterior, economy sedan continuous. Noah begins driving.
There's some waters in the seat pocket if you like. If you'd like.
Oh, no, thank you. I appreciate the offer, though. Andrew takes out his phone and begins busying himself with it for a moment. Now, this whole conversation, this scene, how I've always written it, is it's the two of you who are both people that drive other people around. He's a pilot just landing and getting
Yeah.
off the plane. You are driving him home to a house that's probably, at least the plan is, nice in a gated community. Maybe not a huge house, but something that like a wealthy single guy vacation house or something like that.
Yeah.
So not huge, but I think of like the stuff like 3-4 blocks from like Bethany Beach or Dewey, some of the houses in Dewey, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like we'd establish that it's in a gated community. Then the conversation on the way there delves into I think it was a conversation that I told you about this. It was a conversation I had recently with a guy where I was like, well, I'm not sure what I'm doing next. I was like, I'm not married, got no kids, you know, so I don't have anything,
Right.
don't own anything. So that conversation is basically two guys that are really on the same arc. We're just meeting one a lot earlier. The main character is he could be on that path very easily. Become a pilot. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
I'm writing that down. I don't think I. You should write down what you had for that fully, though. The don't marry, don't have kids, all that shit. Like, so. Like, what does he say?
yeah,
What does the guy say, the older guy say in that situation?
he said the conversation we were having. The guy ended up saying he was very jealous. He just was jealous of my situation, not having. Oh no, the pilot has a family. I think he has a family, and
I know.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, that was it. Like this is a separate house, but this is a house somewhere else, but he has a family, and he's got it all. You know what I mean? Then who knows? You could always run into him late at the bars later, the character. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
we could see a different side if we wanted to. But I don't know. I never thought of it like that. I thought it was like a really decent dude who had a nice conversation with the guy and gave him some good advice. By the time it's over,
Sure. Yeah.
or he gives him great advice and he ignores it. Maybe he gets an omen. You know what I mean? Maybe he receives an omen for later in this first kind of interaction. We
I'm right now.
were we also did talk about we the Uncle Lou character, and that still works into my script. The way I was envisioning some scenes later was he had to take him to an appointment, right?
Yeah, chiropractor.
Chiropractor, yes.
And then he leaves and does rides and fucks it up, or wants to get back in time to get him,
Yeah.
something like that, where he's like bent, he's like crushed for time or something. I had it where the first scene he picked up was like a ghetto couple like arguing, and they stop and start, and they're just like arguing, and then they like are kicking each other out of the car continuously, and it's like
Uh,
on the highway, and he's like slowly driving on the highway on the side like handle as they're just arguing with each other, and then
okay.
basically they get to the end, they get to the destination, and then he's taking the thing out of the car, and then the cops get one of the like couple, and then they it's like this whole thing, and then he just drives away, but they left like a bag in the back seat that will be
Oh,
revisited later,
okay.
and like
Ah,
but one of the
a passenger leaving something that needs to be returned. I've had that happen before. Yeah.
yeah, and
Uh,
what it I don't know, like you never know where could that go, like
right, right. Okay. I like, yeah. Uh, we also, did you think of a name for the love interest that works at the convenience store?
no, I didn't, but I don't know. Maybe I can think of people that backstab me. Let me think. Dumb. No. That's good. I don't know. I don't know. That's interesting. No, I haven't. But because I haven't written that part, but like, yeah, I definitely want to put that down.
Because we're going for like we were talking about this, like we're making a comedy for everybody, um, as many people as we can, right?
We should
Um,
have we should have there'd be like I forget what it's called, but there needs to be like something that's answered at the end or halfway through or something. So like I was gonna say like he was like I want to do 12 hour. My thing was like I want to do 12 hours of driving, and then the girl's like, how about instead you come to this party? So then he's deciding whether or not he wants to go to the party. And then
okay.
halfway through he decides he will.
Does
Um,
he have a money goal? Is that it? Does he have a money goal for the evening and something to spend the money on that he's trying to earn? And then he decides, nah, I'm just gonna go and go to this party or
that would be interesting. That would be very interesting. Let me write this down. He wants to do 12 hours of driving to get something, a money goal or ticket somewhere or whatever, ever, but the gas station girl offers to invite him to a party, and that doesn't go well. But the we wait till halfway through the story to see if he is going to the party or not, and a bad ride causes him to decide to go to that party.
All right. So, okay.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say. We do a scene where he's gassing up towards the beginning, where we develop that he does not want to go to the party. She's working till a certain time, and then she's going to the party. So then he comes back to regas and get something to eat later in the movie around the time that she's leaving to try and connect with her on her way out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's like, not like stalkerish kind of, but also functional. Essentially. Stalkerish but functional. Um he's
Yeah, and
being
then he
smart.
like probably ends up going to the party at the same time she goes to the party. I don't know, something like
Or
that.
could be. I was thinking that she would be like, "Oh, just follow us," whatever. Like she's leaving on her way out, and she's like, "Oh, I'm going with them. Just follow us." And then he gets there, and she gets out with some other dude that she was with in the car that he didn't see. You know. So right as he goes in, he knows this sucks. It's no holdover. It's no cute back and forth. You know what I mean? He immediately is shut down as soon as they get there.
Yeah, I'm writing that down.
uh,
Yeah. Damn. I don't know. Yeah, this is good.
but it's good,
The
right?
problem is like I know it's like just one character, but the problem is like a lot of good comedies have like a sidekick character.
Well, I was thinking when we need him. This was in my back pocket. If and when we need him, there could be somebody else that he knows who also is at the convenience store or a parking lot, or there's somebody that he visits or talks to throughout the night that maybe wants to meet up with him. And then they do meet up at the end. And then we have like a buddy section. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always wanted to end with just him and start with just him, but I do want there to be a buddy at some point. But I was like, I'll wait until it comes up. So you just mentioned it, which means you're thinking about another character being there or another character that he can be uh, touching in with or whatever. Either somebody he calls or,
Yeah, I'm writing it down. Yeah. Like as soon
but
as
yeah, don't shy away from creating another guy for him to be bouncing ideas off of and talking to or whatever.
Yeah, like somebody he meet. I was thinking like it could be like somebody he meets up with that he went to school with, but he went to college and then he comes back or to town or something. I don't really know. Some.
You also wrote you also wrote that he pops an Adderall with his vitamins, which I was like, that's probably a good thing to include. I think is
Yeah,
does he have like a vice or like a something like that? Like something that he's got that he does that splits the audience, or like some people are like totally, yeah, me too, or some people are like, no, I don't approve of that. You know what I mean? Like one of those one of
yeah,
those one of those characteristics or habits or something that create um a little bit of explanation maybe for why he's acting a certain way or why he's doing certain things or why he's up all night or whatever. um
yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
So maybe he does the Adderall somewhere in the middle of the movie or something to stay awake.
I'm writing that down.
Mhm. because we do have to establish pretty quickly. I think here's the structure of the movie in my head, right? Cold opening. Like in my brain, if we're doing my script or whatever, in my brain it was cold open. First guy gets in after that little. He's listening to the podcast. You get a sense of who he is pretty quickly, and then in comes this guy. Then he drops him off. We have this whole exchange. Then he drops him off. Then we get hit with the music title and intro sequence, which is several different little short um,
Driving interactions. Yeah.
driving interactions, like not probably montaged, but done in a way that's like, it's funny.
Still
Just
scene.
a bunch of jokes, a bunch of stuff that just like builds out, fleshes out the guy, how he reacts to certain people and situations, what he thinks about them. I also thought it would be funny to always have him say something under his breath to himself when they exit. You know what I mean? Like they exit, the door shuts, and then immediately you're like, so you say something that's totally the opposite of everything we just heard. You know what I mean? Like it's stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah.
I don't want to keep going for too long. I think this is a good time to stop. We've been going for almost an hour. So, um,
Yeah, no, this is good. Hold on, I'm just gonna say a thought. But yeah, this has been good. I think we got a lot of good ideas.
yeah,
And I look forward to doing more of this.
yeah. We don't know. I don't know if we'll do writing every single time on the streams. I don't want to be reading all of our pages necessarily, but I do want to give people updates on what we're working on, what we've got, what we're thinking. We could already start working on, not yet, but we already know the area we want to film in, and we could start researching like, um, you know, housing, how we would get everybody, what we would do. This we're thinking about the whole production of getting it made while we're writing it, so that we can not outright what we know we have access to. You know what I mean? We don't want to write something that we're like, oh, we can't do. We don't have the money to do that. That's
Yeah,
why that's why keeping the cast small has always been a goal. But so having like a main cast of you're going to be in pretty much every frame of the movie, so you're there all the time. So it would be it's easy to just bounce off all these side characters through the driving, but I would like a couple of more, like one friend character to anchor him as like he does have an actual friend. You know what I mean? um,
yeah,
how we work him in, where he comes in, we can figure that out. He could be a dude that works somewhere. He stops by or talks to him, as you know what I mean. He could be a guy that works at another gas station or something like that. But
yeah.
maybe. Oh,
Or a
wait.
smoke
Maybe
shop.
I was like, maybe it's a food place or something that he goes, and the dude like I worked at a Jersey Mike's. That used to be the thing. Finish at 9 and you'd go straight home, change, and go to the bars or whatever. So it could be that he has a conversation with the friend, and the friend meets up with him at the party. Like he sees her he sees the chick get shut down, and then his friend is pulling up or is already there waiting, and he's texting with him, and then he meets up with him, and immediately he's like, "Well, I don't even want to go in now." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Maybe. Oh, this could be something. This really happened. I got in high school. Some friends and I got asked to leave a party, and we went and stole a fire extinguisher, then drove by and sprayed everybody's cars for kicking us out. So I thought it would be funny to put that in a movie finally, and reveal to a bunch of people in high school that it was me, that I was the wheelman in that situation. But that that could be something his friend and him do.
What
where
if a
it's like
friend's another what is fucking Jerry saying? I'm not gonna read it yet. But what if like the friend is like a girl, like a tomboy, like weird chick?
a tomboy chick that's the one he should clearly be going for, but he hasn't yet. That type of.
I hate that, but it's good.
Well,
I
I
don't know.
mean, that's where my head went. That's
It's
could be
good, but
cool.
yeah.
I'll tell you what. Give the character a name that's unisex, and we'll decide the gender later. So we just write it as a friend. You know, uh, we could call it Frankie or
Yeah, yeah.
Frankie or
Um,
something or Alex. You know,
yeah, that could be good.
I'm not
Yeah.
against
Oh,
that. I'm not entirely against that. Yeah, no. And she could know that
what if his mom?
she
I was
could be
thinking that
from
his
the
mom.
town. She could
What?
be from the town. That character could be native to the town, and since he's not native to the town, I never felt like he was native to the town. It's just where he's at for a little while, you know.
I was thinking that his mom was like an academic that is a professor, and she's always traveling a lot, and that he is saving up to surprise his mom, uh, because he hasn't seen her in a long time.
So he's saving up to fly and see her.
Yeah.
That's part of the conversation in the opening. Then that's good. That could be
Yeah,
part.
that could be
if
good.
if if the first scene is him and the pilot, that conversation fits right into that whole theme, you know.
Or go there. I don't know. This could be. I don't know. All
You
right.
got
We'll do this again. But this
yeah,
is
yeah,
what Jerry says. He says the
yeah.
episode is
I just
actually
read it. That's what I was laughing
yeah.
at.
That sounds funny. That sounds really funny.
But that's the type of stuff in that show. That's a very good example of what that show is like, you know.
Yeah. Oh hi, Jerry.
All right, but
Couldn't
let's
send wave. What is going on? Oh, I guess he's left. All right. This was good. I'll call you
yeah,
after we end this call and stuff.
yeah.
And that was the
Um,
first episode of making a movie with Mike.
yeah, making I don't know. I just was like I
We'll
wrote
figure
it
it
in
out.
pretty big. I was like, whatever, making a movie. Yeah, sure. All
All
right,
right.
thanks for watching,
Are
everybody.
you ending it? And then
Yeah, I'm gonna end it now.
okay.
Peace.
Bye.